Hiya. Today I'm going to do a really simple, quite matte smoky eye look using lots of soft browns and kind of making it a bit deeper in the outer corners. So if you've got anything that you want to go and grab and work along with me, feel free to do so. To save some time, I've already prepped my skin. I've gone in with this calendula water cream from Kiehl's, and I like that because it's a gel and your skin kind of drinks it in, and then you can pretty much go straight in with your base without it peeling or feeling too heavy. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of the CC cream. This is the illuminating version. Now, I've got a big spot today that was absolutely nothing yesterday, but of course I had to pick it and it's now turned into a thing. So, little reminder, I know everyone says this, but it's so hard to do when you're in the moment. Just don't pick your skin, especially if there's nothing there. I feel like that's flared up and got angry just to teach me the lesson of you should have left it alone then. So I'm going to take the CC cream all over, and then when I've not got much left on my brush, I'm going to take that over my eyelids, just so that it can kind of help to prep them and give a little bit of colour before I go in with my eyeshadow palettes. Now, I'm very excited actually. It's been a long time since I've been as kind of curious and excited about a new launch, but Mario Dedivanovic, Makeup by Mario, has launched his own line, and I just think he strikes me as someone that has such an attention to detail, and so I'm really, really excited to try them. I ordered them over the weekend and they came really quickly because they've been shipped from America, so I've not used them before, so we are going in together. But as with all of my tutorials, gosh, I've gone in really heavy with that powder. Just one moment, I better concentrate before I absolutely sabotage myself. As with any of my tutorials, please just grab whatever you've got at home. I never want you to think that you can't achieve the same thing. You know, whatever you've got is going to work. Always, I would say, pay more attention to things like techniques. I'm just going to quickly put some eyebrows on. You know, things like how much pressure I use at a certain point or the shape of a brush are so much more valuable if you're trying to replicate any kind of looks. I actually, Mario, I think Mario is like really well known for a few things. Lots of people would know him because he does all of the Kardashians' makeups. In particular, he's really known for doing Kim's. He's also really known for his masterclasses, where he basically travels the world doing these masterclasses and teaching all of his tips. But I actually went to a press event years ago that he did with L'Oreal. It was brilliant. And I wrote a blog post all about it, and I went back and read the blog post before doing this video because I was thinking, oh, I wonder what kinds of things it said. And everything he said was about technique. At no point was he like, you need to get this product or that product. It was very much use your brush in this way, finish it this way. So it all just feeds into the same thing. So base is on, let me just show you. So this is his matte eyeshadow palette. That's the one I'm going to be using today. While I'm showing you, I got the colourful one as well. Because I'll tell you why. His Anastasia palette from years ago sold out, and it's like this cult, oh my God, I can't believe I've got one item. It was a present from somebody. So I thought, well, these can't be running out and I won't have had them. And I'm not usually like that, but this was something I was really keen to get. So anyway, I'm rabbiting on and on. I'm going to start with, in fact, no, I'm going to start with one of these soft colours. And I'm going to take a nice kind of neutral beige across the lid. And I'm going to take that across both eyelids. Now, one of the things I really like about matte shadows is I feel like they are the perfect kind of combination if you want to feel polished during the day, but you don't want to feel too done. I had a lovely message the other day from someone who said that her children are now at the age where they're back at school, and she has been at home looking after them for a few years, and she's just gone back to work. And she said, you know, what's a nice middle ground for when you want to feel nice and put together, but equally you don't want to feel too done? So I would say, first of all, that anything in a matte texture helps you to achieve that kind of, it's already a little bit softer for the fact that it's matte. I'm going in with a slightly lighter matte shade, just in the inner corners of the eyes. This is a really brightening tip, but you'd be surprised, even though it looks really subtle, you really notice when you don't do it. So it's a nice one to do. And then, sorry, I'm being distracted by happenings in the garden. I am going to go in with a fluffy brush and a slightly deeper shade of brown. And I'm going to take this right the way through the socket. And again, because this is a matte texture, even though I'm taking this fairly high up, it doesn't look too much. The lovely thing about how these palettes have been laid out is that you can really see here, you've kind of got this story getting darker and darker, and even just navigating your way across the palette, you can see I'm going to start from the left-hand side for something a bit softer and work my way over to the right-hand side for more definition and depth and what have you. So I'm going to take that through. Another thing that I meant to mention, someone said to me that they struggle to flick it out at the ends. I totally get what you mean. What I tend to do, a bit like what I just did with my foundation, is wait till there's hardly anything left on the brush, and then if you do want to flick out these corners, that's a really good time to do it, because you're not going to put too much product there. Ultimately, that flick, you want it to be quite subtle and just kind of naturally taper out and fade into nothing. So the best way to do that is to make sure you've got as little product as possible on your brush. Now, I've made that brush a little bit denser, and I'm going to take that same colour right the way under the eye. And then what I'm going to do now, I've got my base colour on the lid, I've got my mid colour going through the socket and under the eye. This is where you can really dial up or down the makeup to something that feels comfortable for you. And what I'm going to do here is gently start introducing the deeper browns and adding a bit more depth. I'm actually going to go back in with the same brush I used in the beginning, buff away the excess, because it's quite a small little fluffy blending brush. That one is the MAC 217. I'm going to take a slightly warmer brown. For the record, I've done a few videos on brushes. If you want to go back and take a look, there's lots of suggestions there in terms of shapes that are really handy to have in your makeup bag, in terms of particular brands and styles that I like. And this is one of many MAC brushes I have that I've had for over 10 years and never had to replace, because they just last really, really well. Now, what I am doing here is adding a bit of the brown on. Obviously, it's not 100% even. I'm going to take another clean blending brush and just soften the edges of that brown. And what I want is this little, what's the word I'm looking for? Diffusion to happen in the outer corners, where you've got all of these different browns getting gradually darker, that makes it look like I've spent all day blending them, but who's got all day? When in fact, I'm just very gently introducing darker and darker browns as I go closer towards the eye line. Now I'm going in with a very dark brown, and I'm going to take this along this outer corner. I'm kind of tickling it into that lash line. And you see how it's just kind of extending where my lashes are naturally going to go. Now, this eye, the way my fine lines naturally fall, that eye is always more of a nightmare. So I'm actually going to try and perfect the eye that plays ball with me, and then work on marrying the two together. See, that one I'm really happy with. This one we can both see is a bit of a balls up. Okay, so I can see I need to take it a bit higher. First of all, I'm just going to go in with my finger. That's often the cure for a lot of evils. And then I'm going to keep my eye open and gently tailor that up a bit more, and already that feels better. I think a lot of the time we just naturally close our eyes when we're doing our eyeshadow, but actually especially when you're trying to make things even or match them up, it can be just as helpful to keep them open. Now, I'm conscious of time. I'm going to pause us here. I'm going to go in with a brown liner. This is Charlotte Tilbury's Walk of No Shame. I really like, with any kind of browns, I think that a brown liner can really make the whole thing look nice and cozy. Nice and autumn inspired. It's not too intense to look at, but it still adds to the kind of depth and dimension of the shadows. Now, I'm gently taking this through the waterline, trying to avoid my contact lenses, because I am absolutely blind as a bat. And then I'm just going to check that we're nice and even. Now, one of the things I often say is a tip I was taught by David Horn. I go on about this all the time. He always says finish then finesse, because I don't want to run out of time and be halfway through my makeup. I'd rather have got a whole face on, and then if I've got some time at the end, I can go back and add some nice touches. So that in mind, I'm going straight in with my mascara. This is the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. And I'm going to get right in there on the top and bottom lashes. There we go. And then I'm so excited, actually, another little newbie to show you today. Victoria Beckham's lipsticks have arrived. They are absolutely lovely. I had a big play in the kitchen while I had the natural light. I'm never one for kind of doing swatches and things like that, but I've got really into TikTok probably in the last week, going in with a bit of Peaches bronzer, by the way. So I've taken all these little bits to put on TikTok. TikTok is my new fave, by the way. If you're on there, I would love to know who are your favourite accounts to follow, because I'm just in my exploring phase. But anyway, Victoria's lipsticks, absolutely lovely. So, oh gosh, have I just ruined that eye? No, I haven't. I am going to go in with one of her new lippies. They're quite a nice, they almost have a jelly texture. So it's almost like the best of a lipstick and a lip gloss, which is right up my street. I'm going to take her lip liner to prep. This is the shade 01. I'm going to take this all over. In fact, no, I won't. I'll leave my lips bare so you can see how the lip comes out. Okay. And then Impulse Decision, I'm going to go for Pout. They're all called Posh something or another. Posh this, Posh that. This is Posh Pout. It's a nice kind of pinky beige. And it's a nice thin wand that you're not navigating it around your lips, trying not to make a mess. Love that. And then this is where the Finish Then Finesse comes in. So I'm going to go in with a bit of a nude stick. Let me see if I've got a little brush I could do this with so that I don't lift my foundation off. I'm going to take a bit of nude stick on a little highlighter brush and press it in, rather than, if you press too hard, going straight in with that. I don't want to lift off any coverage that I've built, which funnily enough is a tip I always think of now. And I think that was one that I picked up at the Mario Press thing. Isn't it funny? And then the last thing I definitely want to get in, a little bit of Peaches blush. This is the shade Tutti Frutti. And they've just brought out 2 blushes at Peaches. First ever blushes. So very, very exciting. Okay, and there we go. With 10 seconds to spare, little matte smoky eye. Anyway, I'll speak to you soon.